I would be very clear. I don't think that we should strive to keep the lithium project in Serbia, especially in the form of project which is conceived by Rio Tinto. There are many aspects of this project. What are the economic effects? What are the environmental effects? What are the social effects? What are the political effects? And finally, what are the geopolitical effects? And I'm not an engineer, I'm not a geologist, but I can discuss all of these aspects of lithium exploitation in Serbia. I can give some ideas on these issues. I'm very grateful to my colleagues, economists, who made a very good analysis using data on the website of Rio Tinto Serbia. Rio Tinto prepared a study to explain economic benefits of this project in Serbia. Regarding economic effects, they are negligible.
They are what?
Negligible.
Okay.
Sorry, micro. The economic effects are negligible. The environmental effects are disastrous. The social effects are detrimental. The political effects are harming. And finally, geopolitical effects are mixed. So if we make a kind of matrix and analyze the issue, why economic effects are negligible? Comparing to other lithium projects or mining projects abroad that Rio Tinto is practicing, investments of Serbia in this project would be rather high because Serbia has to develop the whole infrastructure that would serve to this mine of lithium.
You mean streets?
Railway, road, electricity connections, gas pipeline.
And in other countries, because you compared to other countries, in other countries this was done by Rio Tinto? They were building roads?
Everything was done by Rio Tinto. Not only that, each country where Rio Tinto works has a share. Is a kind of shareholder in the project. We are not. In Serbia, we are not. So comparing to others, it's a very unfavorable situation. The mining rent is very low. It's not clear, are we going to become a part of the value chain or it's only lithium extracted? Because there are some deals with the Slovak company, Inobat, which is not, how to say, they do not have experience in producing huge quantities of batteries. Neither Rio Tinto has experience with the technology of exploiting lithium in such unfavorable, how to say, it's a groundwork. They have to dig. They are going to approach waters under the surface. Serbia is very rich. This is the area where very high resources in clean water are existing underground. They could provide the whole Vojvodina and Belgrade with drinking water. So these are huge reserves, and I believe that water is much more precious resource than lithium on the long term, because the situation with clean water in the world is very bad. In Europe, only 35% of groundwaters are clean. So the quantity of water is decreasing. Then we have trade where Serbia won't have any impact on trade with lithium because Rio Tinto is the owner.
Well, sorry, can I just interject here? I mean, the government says, I'm not saying this is true, but that's what they say, is we will insist that Serbia is part of the value chain, and if it's not, we will not allow the project. I'm not saying you should believe that, but this is the official line, that there should be a better factory, that there should be other factories that are involved in the production, and they say if this is not assured, then it's not going to happen.
Well, Innobat could be used as an argument that we are going to have processing, but we don't know how much, what are we going to be a recycling company, because Chinese are now, they made an agreement with Slovakia to develop huge battery factory in Slovakia with Chinese know-how. So are they going to duplicate the capacities in Serbia, or we are going to make just recycling? We don't know. So if it will be only Innobat, then it's a question. Because pure revenues from mining of lithium is very low. It's about 500 million euros for 40 years. It's nothing. And the profit, net profit of Rio Tinto will be more than 11 billions from this project. So transfer of technology for mining, it will be, it's an innovative project, new project in new circumstances. It's different than from exploiting lithium from some lakes, some waters like in Germany. No, it's a different project which is more harmful even. And then finally, prices of lithium carbonate are falling down. For 2 years, they fell 80%. There is growing number of new locations very rich with lithium. Now in Arkansas, the reserves of lithium that were discovered could cover a global demand. This is what I found in different papers. And then there are alternatives to lithium, sodium-ion batteries, hydrogen fuel cells, then magnesium batteries, graphene batteries. And we don't know in 40 years how fast these batteries are going to substitute lithium, because lithium is the worst option considering especially environment.
Well, as you say, we don't know. So why don't we speak about things that we do know, or that we at least might anticipate? We talk now a lot about technical issues, about ecology, about, you mentioned the geopolitical aspect, and this is something I'd like to ask you a question about, or the political domestically in Serbia and the wider political aspect. The image of the European Union and Germany, I would say, in this country, because of the project, is as an all-time low. I have never seen it in such a way. I mean, German-Serbian relationships and European-Serbian relationships have never been easy, or have very often not been easy, but this is really a new low. And Germany is now heavily investing in a public relations campaign. In a couple of days, a group of Serbian journalists from Insider, from Birn, from Radar, and opposition politicians from Serbia will be traveling to Germany for an entire week. They're invited by the foreign ministry. They finance everything. And they have I saw the program. It's really an amazing program. The journey is called Germany as an Example of Environmentally and Socially Sustainable Mining. They will meet, and the foreign ministry people, they will meet the parliamentary state secretary Franziska Brandner, who's head of the Green Party right now, who's very much supporting the project. They will meet, that's maybe a name that's not a household name here, but he is important, Eckhard von Kleden. He's head of the Department of Politics and External Relations of Mercedes. That's more or less the foreign minister of Mercedes. And there has also even been the idea of Olaf Scholz and Alexander Vucic traveling together to Zinnwald. This is the place in Germany where they extract lithium, but given the events in Germany, I have my doubts whether this is all happening. Why I'm saying all this? My impression is this does not change much. The image, I mean, for the European Union and for Germany, this lithium mining and supporting this project is a public relations disaster here. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good answer, but a little short. Could you explain? Could you explain why?
Well,
microphone, please.
Yes, sorry. I can understand European Union. I can understand Germany. I can understand their interests. It's legitimate, but I can't understand Serbian interest in this project. No interest. Serbia, everything, as I said, it has a bad qualification except geopolitical. Only geopolitical could have some positive effects, because if this project would be operational, active, successful in terms of implementation, pure implementation, not economic effects, it could send a message that Serbia is finally in the Western camp. It would give some leverage to Serbia to negotiate with the European Union in the accession process, and that's all. Everything else is bad.
Well, the accession process is something we can maybe touch later, because I don't think there is such a process, but we can discuss this and then see whether lithium mining has an influence on a non-existing
And you
process.
asked about political effects.
Yes?
This project strengthens autocratic regime in Serbia. This project would be performed and has been up to now developed without respect of the rule of law. This project is completely centralized in each respect, doesn't respect at all local communities in this area. And finally, this project is confronting different interest groups in Serbia. So I can't, I try to give some positive political or social effects, but I couldn't find them. There is also, how to say, a game that people who are against lithium, they are accused that they are paid by Russians. That they are Russian agents. This is the story for embassies of the EU, of United States, etc. Even we who are against lithium are challenged, the word accused, by foreign ambassadors, but in fact we are. They are defending their interests, and it's legitimate, but we have to defend our interests. And probably there will be some point where we can find common language, because I would quote Florian Bieber, who said this lithium project in Serbia is terrible mistake of tragic, he used the word tragic mistake of the European Union, because the European Union is sending the message that in fact it doesn't care about people, but it cares for lithium, for minerals, and it's a message for the whole region of the Western Balkans. And another message that came from Austria, it was published in some, I don't know the name, Standard, is there Standard?
Yeah.
Yes. They published an article that the European Union developed its colony in the near neighborhood, its own colony, little colony. And there are more and more negative reactions in the European Union itself regarding this Rio Tinto project. And as I became interested for this project in 21, I collected a huge dossier. Well, this is not difficult. You have internet. You can find whatever you want. And I couldn't find some positive assessment of Rio Tinto activities of this kind regarding all these criteria. Only positive information about Rio Tinto is that they are making huge profits, that they are a very big company, although there is one bigger in the world in this area. So it's very hard to believe that this project could bring some real benefit to our society. And it is not against the EU. I really want Serbia to see Serbia in the EU. But it doesn't mean that we have to accept everything, every request that is coming from the EU. I would take some examples. For example, Polish negotiations on the agriculture with the European Union. I think it was a very difficult stuff for the European Union, but they were defending their interest. We have to learn to defend our own interest without ruining our relations with the European Union or anybody else.
May I ask, I touched this in my very first question, but I would like to try to make it even more clear. Are you of the opinion that the lithium mining is not possible with this company, Rio Tinto, and this government, the Vučić government? Or are you saying it is generally not possible and should never be done in Serbia, no matter what company, no matter what government in Belgrade?
It would be good to see some alternative project with many, many components of the project designed in a different way, and to have more reliable partner, or to have complete ownership, to have a state company developing this project, but having in mind the character of our authorities, it wouldn't help. So, and the conclusion is no, under given conditions, absolutely not. But theoretically, it would be nice to see different offers. But in this country, it's, I think it's, I missed we don't have a competition in whatever public procurement we are making for any project. It's usually one who offers and state accepts. The projects that have been done by the state. Otherwise, individual companies, private companies, they have to tender for any procurement that they are having. But when our state is making a public procurement tenders, it's not transparent, it's not clear, there is only one who is making offer, etc., etc. So under given conditions, no.
Oh. Thank you. Mirko Popović, Renewables and the Environmental Regulatory Institute. I think one question should be delivered to Mr. Popov. So, I will be short. If we have a situation that European Union institutions, particularly European Commission, and countries like Germany are showing certain readiness to neglect the state of rule of law related to Jadar project and to underestimate the effects on democracy and rule of law. How this approach may impact energy transition of Serbia and the region, because we have also breaching of rule of law in energy transition process. From my part of view, I consider breaching of energy treaty as a breaching of rule of law. So could this relations, this sensitive political trade-off could impact the energy transition and decarbonization in a broader sense? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You were one of my sources for my questions, as you know, of course. And one last question here. If you can be as concise as the two others, that's great. Then we still have time to answer and will not... yeah, over there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mirko Popović. I'm from No Immunity from Accountability organization. There are lots of things said here. Unfortunately, I have to be concise. Several disinformation. For instance, mineral rent in Serbia is one of the highest in Europe, not one of the lowest. Mining rent is one of the lowest, especially for NIS Gazprom Neft, which illegally still pays 3% of mining rent. And nobody talks about it in civil society. So again, to repeat, it's one of the highest in Europe. It's not the only thing that Serbia would benefit from this mining. I understand any project in Serbia is problematic, taking into consideration what happened, for instance, in Novi Sad, right? These tragedies. And so, especially with huge mines like Rio Tinto, that may be a problem. But comparing to other mining projects in Serbia, according to the published data so far, it's one of the least dangerous projects. And we have two polarized sectors right now, media sectors in Serbia, which do not discuss with each other these issues. Anyone who dares to question this information regarding lithium extraction in Serbia is banned on the so-called opposition media. On the other hand, government refuses to debate in a meaningful conversation with others. So artificially creating divisions, which is a common typical Russian-style propaganda factor. And therefore keeping two sectors polarized, not able to reach anything, any agreement in future. And I can say more about, there'll be increase in demand for lithium, that's relevant predictions. There is no alternative lithium battery. There are alternatives, but there is a diversification of different batteries. So lithium will have its place in near and mid-term future in the world. And I mean, I can continue going on, but unfortunately, time is limited.
Thank you very much. Interesting element. I was wondering if you are for the project, would you get airtime at N1 or Nova Rese or whatever? But okay, we can discuss this at different time. Well, how do you want to chop up the questions between the two of you? I mean, some were clearly lithium and Serbia related. Maybe if you would like to start.
Yes, yes. It would be our third public debate with Mr. Kapor, Mr. Kapor. Sorry? No, it will debate inevitably. Each time it was, so it will be the third time. We are repeating the story. In 40 years, what will happen in 40 years? This is the issue you raised. Changes are so quick. I don't believe that not only Serbia, why Germany didn't start with the production, why Czech Republic, they have twice the reserves of Serbia. The amount of reserves is twice those that we have. Why they didn't start to exploit lithium, and they are exploiting lithium from water, not digging the mines. Second, electrical vehicles. There is no bright future for electrical vehicles, according to what I read quite a lot, because the polluting effect in producing electrical vehicles is more or less the savings to pollute when they are exploited. And the industry of electrical vehicles is not going well, especially in Europe. The price is 4 times higher than electrical vehicles in China. Second, Swedish, huge producer of batteries, these days was close to bankruptcy. and they are going to fire 1,600 workers in Sweden. These are the signs. I cannot construct of these signs a reliable story, but if you are getting different signs coming from different sides, they are making the picture at least. So I wouldn't rely in lithium production in Serbia. I hope this project won't be realized. Second problem, is the dialogue possible? There is a dialogue of civil society and authorities. It's a national convention on the European Union covering all 35 chapters, negotiating chapters. And we have, in these national conventions, we have a regular dialogue with different branches of our government, even parliament is involved. So the dialogue is possible. But the dialogue on lithium, obviously, is not possible. The opposition or pro-lithium forces are so confronted. And in a way, this is a good, how to say, this is exactly how our society functions. Somehow in the lithium case, we have all problems of our society. Lack of transparency, any relatively important investment is treated by the law, or specially designed law, as investment of high importance where agreements are secret.